Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be continuing to answer some of the questions that you guys asked relating to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a community post recently here on the channel. We have a few more questions that I want to go over in this video today, and if you guys have any more questions about the Bucs that haven't already been asked in this video or previous videos, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section down below. They may make it into a future video, but let's go ahead and dive right in with the first question of the video today. This is from Edgar that says, should the Bucs re-sign Ndamukong Suh for the 2022 season? And to answer that question in the short form, I'm going to say that I think that yes, they should re-sign Ndamukong Suh. And this is a understandable, a justified question, right? Because the question as to whether or not the Buccaneers should or shouldn't re-sign Ndamukong Suh, or whether they will or will not re-sign Ndamukong Suh, has been something that has been on a lot of people's minds throughout a good portion of this offseason. Essentially, since the free agency period has began, a lot of people have been questioning where the heck is the Ndamukong Suh re-signing, and the Buccaneers have been adding fuel to that fire. We have heard guys like Jason Light and new Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles both say that they want to bring back Ndamukong Suh into the mix, that they are keeping an open dialogue, that it is a big priority for them to bring back a guy like Ndamukong Suh. So, should they re-sign him? Yes, I think they should. I think Ndamukong Suh, while he is certainly getting up there in age, and while he might not be as effective of a player as he once was, heck, even a couple of years ago when he first joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think Suh is still a reliable veteran, at least in terms of leadership. Suh gives you a good amount of experience and veteran presence in that locker room, and I think he can still hold his own as a starting caliber player. We've seen what he's been able to do as a run defender. Heck, the past couple of years, he's shown more as a pass rusher in games as well. So I think that Suh still has a little bit left in the tank and can still give you starting caliber snaps. It might not be an entire season's worth. Maybe you want to rotate somebody else into that mix, maybe a rookie, maybe another veteran free agent addition, whatever you want to, call it. But I do think Suh can still give you some quality snaps as a starting defensive lineman in this Buccaneers front seven. So, should they re-sign Ndamukong Suh? I think the answer to that is yes, just because of what Suh still gives you as a player and as a veteran leader as well. Will they or won't they re-sign Ndamukong Suh? I'd like to think that they will, because of how much the coaching staff and the front office want him back in the mix on this team, but the deal hasn't gotten done yet. It might get done before the draft. It might get done after the draft. We don't know. Heck, it might get done as I'm recording this video. We have no idea. We're just going to have to wait and see. But should they? Yes. Will they? I'm going to assume yes, but it still remains to be seen. Speaking of re-signings, Complete Chaos also had a similar question saying, do we re-sign JPP or Suh? I did just talk about Suh, but he goes on to say, does the current salary cap give cap space for these? What's likely to happen? I think JPP, but I think I'd rather sign Suh as opposed. He shouldn't command that much as JPP would. And then also we have another question here from Alex asking, 1, will the Buccaneers re-sign Jason Pierre Paul? And 2, is there a chance they bring in Julius? I assume he meant Julian, as in Julian Edelman. To answer that real quick, no, they're not bringing in Julian Edelman, but we did just talk about Ndamukong Suh, but what's going on with Jason Pierre Paul? As Chaos says here, he thinks that JPP is going to command more money than Ndamukong Suh. But to be honest, I would kind of think the reverse. And that kind of leads me to believe that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not going to bring back Ndamukong Suh. Not because money is an issue, right? His market, I imagine, hasn't been as extensive as it has been in the past in terms of big contract numbers, things along those lines. But when you look at Jason Pierre Paul and what he did last year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it wasn't a lot, at least in terms of paper. We know that JPP is a fantastic leader for this Buccaneers defense. He has been ever since he joined the team all the way back in, I believe it was 2018. Could have been 2017, but I'm pretty sure it was 2018. JPP has been a huge influence on guys like Joe Tryon, Shaq Barrett, Devin White, and some of the other big pieces that are a part of that Buccaneers front seven. However, when you look at other things that Jason Pierre Paul is offering the Buccaneers right now, besides his leadership, there is a lot left to be desired, and one of the main reasons for that is because of injuries. It has been almost every single season now, Jason Pierre Paul has been dealing with one injury or another during his time with the Buccaneers, and given his increase in age, he is getting up there in his years, those injuries start to compound and really start to affect what you are able to do as a player. So, do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers re-sign Jason Pierre Paul? I think it's possible, but it is going to have to be at a reasonable cost. I think that you can justify paying Suh a good amount of money, not an insane amount, nothing along those lines. I still think that Suh is going to take less money than what he got in seasons previously with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but in the case of Jason Pierre Paul, there really isn't much justification anymore for him to get a big contract because his efficiency and his production have been hampered significantly by his injuries. You also have to factor in Joe Tryon's right there. The Buccaneers don't have a guy who can immediately come in and replace a guy like Ndamukong Suh. That would drive his price tag a little bit higher for the Bucs. In the case of Jason Pierre Paul, they've got Joe Tryon right there. And Jason Light has talked about Joe Tryon very glowingly, as has guys like Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles. And they have a guy who they just slot right into that spot and just have an automatic replacement there for Jason Pierre Paul. If the Buccaneers were to bring back JPP, I would imagine it would be at a relatively low dollar type of value and have him be in some type of rotational backup type role. Would Jason Pierre Paul be okay with that, with taking significantly less money and being in a backup type of capacity on this team? I don't know. Maybe that's why it has been such a waiting game for JPP and whether or not he will come back to the Bucs or go off and join another team. Local reporters like Greg Auman don't expect JPP to be back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that might be because the Bucs are possibly saying, hey, you're going to have to be a backup now. We have Joe Tryon. We're going to slot him in as the starter. JPP, sorry, you'd have to be in a rotational type role or a backup capacity. I don't have any inside info to say that that is what is actually going on there. I'm just making an assumption based on how I see the situation. So, yeah, I don't know 100% if Jason Pierre Paul is going to come back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In fact, I'm going to say that's probably less likely than likely at this point, because it's a totally different situation than what you have going on with a guy like Ndamukong Suh that I talked about at the beginning of this video. Suh, he is still being productive despite his age. He is not dealing with a ton of injuries like Jason Pierre Paul is, and the Buccaneers don't have a guy that they can slot into Suh's starting position like they do with Joe Tryon and Jason Pierre Paul's starting position. So when you take all of that together, factoring in injuries and price tags and all these other different types of things, and what JPP might want going into a new situation and a new contract, it just doesn't seem super likely that, JPP will return to the Bucs, despite the fact that he has been an incredible leader and a very, very good pass rusher for the Bucs when he was able to be healthy, and despite dealing with some of those injuries, he was still able to put up some good numbers. It seems like injuries have been taking their toll on JPP the past couple of seasons, and the Bucs may be ready to move on with Joe Tryon and Shaq Barrett as their starting edge rushers. But that's kind of it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about the re-signings of Jason Pierre Paul and Ndamukong Suh. What do you guys think? Maybe you think I'm wrong on these situations. Maybe you think JPP will get more money than Ndamukong Suh. Maybe you think the Buccaneers won't sign either guy and go into the NFL draft and get a ton of different guys and make those situations work. I don't know. Maybe you guys just completely disagree with what I've been saying in this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about all of it down in the comments section below. And again, if you have any more questions that you want to ask, go ahead and put them in the comment section below as well. Again, they may make it into future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, folks, I will see you in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.